Hey guys, welcome to another informative, educative video. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. And if you have already subscribed, thank you for visiting again. In this video, I'm going to be continuing from the last video that I did about how to start quail farming with zero cost, zero space. So let's get to it.
Okay, so once we have once we have the cage all set up, we need to put sawdust into the cage to just be sure that when these birds are laying eggs, they don't fall on the bare floor. So to avoid crack, because earlier today I had a crack. So one of the birds laid egg, and then at the cost of trying to remove it, it got cracked. So to avoid such casualties, it's better you put sawdust in the cage on the floor. So now there are types of sawdust. Some people call them wood dust. I know, but I think the common name is sawdust. So there are types of it. So this is the very rough one. Some people think it's not ideal to use this, you know. Then aside from this, we still have the very soft and tiny ones. Always as soft, almost as soft, something like this, you know. So sometimes a bit softer and smaller than this. So, but in this case, we don't have that available, so we have to use this rough one. So this is the rough one that I was able to get. The rough one I was able to get. So we have to put this inside to make it look a lot better. Alright, so there's a bed in there already, but it doesn't disturb the process though. So we go like that. We go like that. We go like that. Yeah. We go like that. Okay. We go like that. Like that. Alright, so we have to level it up. You know, it doesn't have to be much because, like I said, these birds are very messy birds. They will keep scratching it with their legs till they go off, out of the net. Like that. So just keep it at minimal level. It's advisable that way. Alright, so okay, so there's something I noticed. I think these birds feels more comfortable when they are in a cage that has sawdust like this. They feel comfortable to lay eggs because for like 2 to 3 days they I've not had sawdust inside the cage for them, and then the egg production has really been low. For like 2 days I got only one egg from them, which is usually not the case, So I think having this sawdust on the floor like that makes them feel at home, makes them feel comfortable, so they could lay their eggs without stress. So I think sawdust. So sometimes if you can't get sawdust, you could use sand beach and beach sand. So you're not going to use the regular sands that have tiny stones and all that, just in case they want to drop their eggs, so they don't drop on stones and it gets cracked. So if you're going to use sand, you use white beach sand. That's much more preferable for me to sawdust. But in the absence of a beach sand, we just have to use the sawdust. So my advice is, while laying the sawdust, it shouldn't be in the entire cage, especially for a cage like this where you don't have the feeding barrels outside the cage. The feeding barrel remains inside the cage, so you shouldn't have the sawdust filling the whole cage. You can have them, up to this point. Yeah, you can have them up to this point, like that. So, yeah, that's what it looks like, from the top. That's what it looks like from the top. The cage is filled with sawdust, so it should just be this part alone. Then allow this part to be like that. So that's the region where they're going to be having their food and their water. Then this region will probably be for rest, and then if they have to lay their eggs and stuff. Because when you have this sawdust there, when you put the food, like I said, they are messy beds. They would scatter the food from the point where you had kept them, and you see the food falling off to the floor, and then they mix up with the sawdust most times. Then it gives you lost. This is what the food looks like. This is what the food looks like. So if you are going to have this food in that place, imagine mixing this with the sawdust, or this getting mixed up with sawdust. There's literally nothing you can do to retrieve the food back. So it's advisable for it to remain that way. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. Okay. So, okay. Okay. So we have this now. So this is the part where I put the feed for them to eat. So that's the portion for them. That's more like their plate where they can have the feed. Okay. So this is the point where you add their feed, because these birds will still get in there. They try to scratch, the floor with their feet, and then when they do that, you have the food spilling out to this other point like that. So imagine if you have this sawdust up to this point, it mixes with the feed mixes with the sawdust, and then you get to have much more loss, from the feed. So it's only better for you to, have this segment of the feed. So if they're going to mess this up, like having it spill all to other sides, it's something you can actually clear off, return back into the feed compartment, or probably just find a way around it. But if you have the sawdust here and it mixes with the sawdust, there's little or nothing you can do about it. So for my own advice, if you're going to fill the whole cage up with the sawdust, let it be up to this point, so you have this space like this for them. Okay, so I want to add more feed for them. Because these quails eat a lot. A friend told me that quails eat a lot. I didn't understand until I got quails, and then I see how much of a foodie they are. So, that's for that. Okay, so this is what the feed looks like. Yeah. I haven't done that. We need to get them a drinking bottle, anything you can get. I was creative with mine. I wasn't able to get the feeding bottles, the feeding bowls, and all this feeding stuff. I had to create one for myself, and I'll tell you why I created this one for myself. Okay, so this is what we have here. This is what we have here. So looking at this, you could tell that it's a beverage container. Yeah, it's a beverage container that I converted into this. So why? This is really not a very ideal way for you to create water for these guys. But why I choose to, create this was, now these bears don't know any other thing than to get into the plate of food, scratch them off like they're looking for something that is not missing. If they were doing that for the food alone, it would have been nice. So if you have water in a wider bowl or a wider container that contains them that they can dive into, once they get in there, they're still going to keep scratching. When I mean scratching, like they scratch with their feet, like they're trying to find food in there. And then the more they do that, the more they, splash the water all around, getting the cage all wet and messy. So I've thought of a better way, to restrict that kind of movement. Now they can get adequate water, can get good number of water if they or good amount of water if they want, but still not be able to, have the whole place messy. So I thought of this. So I got this, as you can see, I got this. I created a space in here. I created a space in here, as in big enough for each of them, to dip their head into and get water. It's quite big enough for them to dip their head into, and get water. So on the second thought, if you have this, you can have water in it and then have it all the way down like that. They could still go down there, maybe trying to in the process of the running around or trying to scratch as usual. They can turn this off. They can turn this over like that, and then you have the water spilling. So thinking of that, I got this stone. It's just a normal stone, nothing special about the stone, just a normal hard stone, as little as this. So I got it and then I put it straight into the container like that, you know, like that. So when you have water in here, you can have it on the floor without it. So there's no way they want to eat the bottle, the container, or go their usual stuff around it, that they will be able to turn it off, fall it over like that. So it's, if you can get something like this, you know, create, double hole like that inside of it. Then put the water. Of course, when you're putting your water, you don't let it overflow. So you just put water that gets up to this point like that. It's fine enough. So let's try that. Okay, so as you can see, this bird already knows, they are used to it. For the first time, it might come up as being strange. They might not understand where to put their head, where to get water, and what it's for. So with time, they would understand. So this particular one has gotten used to the bottle already, and she's going to look for water in there. Sadly, there's no water in there, but I'm about to provide water for her. All right, so all right, so this is what we have. You can really see they love this setup. I can tell you the birds love this setup. So this space is for them to have their feeding and all that. Look at that. That's where they have the feed. You understand? And that's where they have the drink. That, or rather the drinker. That's the name, the drinker. Yeah, so this is where the feed is, and that's where the drinker is. This is where the feed is, and that's where the drinker is. Yeah. Okay, so they could mess this whole place up if they want to. They could, but it's easier for you to clean than when you have. Imagine you have this kind of setup at this point. Trust me, you don't want to believe what this bird will do. This whole thing you will not find anything here when you come. All this thing will be on the floor all around here like that. And then in this drinker, if you don't have that stone in there, they will turn this off. So you find the water pouring on the floor and then messing the whole place up, which you don't obviously want. So it's better to have it like this. So this is my own creative way of creating a quail cage.
Okay guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel, click on the notification button to get notified when we drop new videos. Like the videos, comment and share.